Well, guess I'm gonna have to perfect Stardew Expanded now. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, in this video, I'm going to play 100 days of Stardew Valley Expanded in my attempt to do 100% of what it has to offer. For those who don't know what Stardew Valley Expanded is, it's a mod pack created by 12 insanely talented artists, programmers, writers, and coders that almost double the amount of content available to the player. There's a new farm type to play on, new NPCs, locations, and quest lines that make replaying Stardew Valley an entirely unique experience. My goal for the first 100 days is to complete the community center, get level 10 in all my skills, and upgrade my axe and pickaxe to iridium. Just like all my videos, this one won't have any mid-roll ads. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and enable notifications, smash the like button on this video, and comment to raise those engagement metrics. They really make a difference and is greatly appreciated, as these videos take a lot of time and effort to make. So, with all that being said, we're just gonna jump right into it. I got my character made and looking snazzy, quit my pencil-pushing job at JoJa, and took the first bus to Stardew Valley. I start my Stardew Valley Expanded journey on day 1 with Robin, checking out my new digs and introducing myself to Lewis, the town mayor. I spent the morning reorganizing my house to be as efficient as possible, then collected my 15 free parsnip seeds and got those planted and watered. I introduced myself to Harvey and his mustache, and then spent my life savings on more parsnip seeds at Pierre's. After getting those sowed into the field, I met Andy, the first of 27 brand new villagers added into the valley with the expanded mod. Judging by his house, he seems to have 3 hobbies: sleeping, eating, and working. He's just like me, for real for real. I continued exploring the new expanded locations as the sun went down and introduced myself to Sophia at the Blue Moon Vineyard, then had a chat with everyone's favorite blacksmith, Clint. One terrible game of Prairie King later, I ended day 1 by passing out at the farmstead trying to clear off more land. I got some letters from Linus and Willie the morning of day 2, but what's most important to me is getting these parsnips grown ASAP. I continued from where I left off from last night and chopped some twigs, before picking up a free fishing rod from our new friend Willie down at the docks. I then went up to Olivia and Victor's house to introduce myself, but they must have gotten lost in their own mansion since I wasn't able to find them. I had nothing better to do today, so I spent the entire rest of day 2 fishing at the lake before heading off to bed, where I got my first 2 skill level ups in foraging and fishing. Day 3 is always rainy here in Stardew Valley, so without needing to expend any time or energy watering crops, I spent another entire day fishing. I was lucky enough to catch a couple catfish for that sweet fishing XP, but unfortunately I was only able to get level 3 fishing today, leaving some money on the table without the fishing profession. I got some ores from treasure chests while fishing yesterday, so Clint is at my door to start off day 4 with the furnace blueprint. Some of you Stardew speedrunners out there will be happy to know that I finally learned how to animation cancel. So now I'm 5 times more efficient when it comes to watering crops, smashing stones, and chopping wood. Olivia and Victor finally deciphered the labyrinth that is their mega mansion, so I was finally able to introduce myself to these new villagers. Also, Victor has peak video game taste, by the way. Over at the JoJa Mart, I introduced myself to Claire, then did some more exploring. I found this abandoned community garden space east of the museum, and I finally introduced myself to every valley dweller by saying hello to Maru to put a cap on day 4. The next couple days were recorded live on Twitch. Twitch.tv/JackDuckGoose, by the way. So please ignore my little overlay on the left side of the screen, as well as any chat messages that might show up. Let's start day 5 by reading a letter from a new villager, Susan, who's trapped at the train station thanks to a nasty landslide. I'll meet her in due time. What is currently occupying my attention are these fresh parsnips ready for harvest. I get those sold to Pierre and reinvested into 35 potato seeds, and got those planted and watered before meeting up with Lewis as we toured the disheveled community center that I plan to get back up and running in less than 95 days. I sold off day 3's catch of fish to Willie, then went and bought even more potato seeds from Pierre and got those all wet. The first skill I want to max out is fishing, so I spent another entire evening fishing down at the lake and passed out in the middle of town to end the day. The wizard sent me some mail requesting my presence at his tower to start day 6, so I harvest a straggler parsnip before drinking a delicious wizardy tonic over at his castle. This wizard brew enabled me to start completing some of the community center bundles, starting with the spring forageables. I got some fish sorted away in the community center as well, before selling off my bundle reward and buying some seed packs I'll need for the spring crops and flower bundles. While attempting to talk to Pierre, I accidentally gave him my kale seed, and here's my live reaction to that blunder. You said it, Live Jack. Anyways, I got everything I needed for the community center planted and watered, then spent the rest of the day at the lake doing some fishing. Andy sent me some free strawberry seeds to start off day 7. I got all my potatoes nice and watered before I introduced myself to another new villager, Martin. I sold yesterday's fishing haul to Willie, bought 53 more potato seeds from Pierre, and got those sowed along with the strawberry seeds Andy gave me this morning. With all these seeds, energy is becoming quite the bottleneck. So I did some foraging for food and found that the traveling merchant is already selling junk. I didn't have any money to buy anything, so I guess it's ideal that she's not selling anything I want now. I finished off day 7 by watering my community center crops and giving Lewis a dandelion for his birthday. On day 8, I came to the realization that watering crops really should give you some farming XP. I mean, I can't even finish my morning chores without dipping into my fish reserves for food. After I got all that watering done, I ran up to Maru to give her a smallmouth bass to complete a request, then went to the mines for the first time and met Marlin, who gifted me a rusty sword. I didn't have any plans to use the rusty sword today. I was essentially forced to fish all evening so that I had some food for tomorrow's chores, and got myself a cool little treasure chest. Ooh, iridium from iridium on day 8. That's crazy, wow. Along with that iridium, I also managed to get level 5 fishing and select the fisher profession. I got my 137 crops watered and chucked a bunch of fish I was hoarding into the shipping bin to start day 9. Another day almost spent entirely just fishing. I'm gonna need as much money as possible before the Egg Festival, and that profit boost you get from selecting the angler profession is my best money-making method right now. Marnie woke me up to start day 10 and implored me to adopt this cat. I accepted her request, and my Twitch chat named the cat Quizno. After a very exciting crop watering session, I ran over to the museum to give Vincent a daffodil birthday present and deposited my first donations to Gunther. Shearwater Bridge, just east of JoJoMart, is a new location with some new fish that are a little too tough for me to catch right now. So I admitted defeat and finished my day off at the old reliable lake fishing spot. I had a good fortune rating for day 11, so I got my potatoes harvested and watered the remaining crops, then did my first run in the mines, progressing as far as floor 15 and getting a good amount of coal and copper. I crafted my first ever furnace and got some copper smelting before hitting the hay and seeing level ups in farming, mining, and combat. Another sunny day means more crop watering for me, but I start day 12 in earnest at the museum, dropping off some loot I got from yesterday's mining session. I grabbed some salads from Gus at the saloon and went back down to do another run in the mines. These little swirly maps always seem to happen right before an elevator floor, so unfortunately, I only made it down 5 levels today. Obviously, I did my math wrong since I had potatoes to harvest on day 13. Unfortunately, these starchy boys won't help me in my quest of buying the max amount of strawberry seeds at the Egg Festival, of which I was only able to purchase 140 seeds. While I was there, I made sure to chat to everyone in attendance to help with that friendship, and then I participated in the egg hunt, where I was defeated by the dynamic duo of Jazz and Vincent. Which is totally unfair, by the way. It's not an even playing field. They have double the manpower. Alas, my petition to strip them of the victory was denied, and I was forced to head back home to plant and water as many strawberry seeds as I could. I got through about 100 of them before eventually passing out. One positive that did come out of this day was reaching level 5 farming, where I selected the tiller profession. I picked up my first Queen of Sauce recipe on day 14, watered my budding strawberries, and then gave Haley a birthday gift before doing some fishing down at the beach. The investment in all those strawberry seeds left me flat broke, so I'm gonna need to do a lot of fishing to recoup those funds. Demetrius woke me up on day 15 asking to take control of my cavern. Since I went with fruit trees last playthrough, I decided to mix it up and go with mushrooms this time around. I got all of my strawberries watered, then made my first massive quality of life purchase, 2000 G towards the upgraded rucksack. I grabbed a green bean seed for the community center, and then made another large purchase by dropping off my axe with Clint for the copper upgrade. I then scampered down into the mines where I found my first ancient seed. It took me a while to realize it, so here's my live reaction. Ancient seed, let's go. When did I get that? You got it like 2 floors ago, you oblivious idiot. Anyways, today was a pretty good day for mining. I made it down 20 floors and got myself a slingshot to end the day. As I wait for my axe to be ready, day 16 is pretty bland. I did all of my morning chores, caught some fish for food, collected my ancient fruit seed and recipe at the museum, completed a request for my friend Demetrius, and then finished the day off by getting to floor 45 in the mines. I did get my level up in fishing and combat though, which is pretty nice. My strawberries are quickly coming in, but the highlight of day 17 is my copper axe being ready. I completed a request for 1 dandelion for Leia, and then put my new axe to use by clearing off some of the trees on the farm. To finish the day off, I assured Linus that his trash can digging habit is nothing to worry about. I do it too. I grabbed some carrot seeds from the prize machine in Lewis's house, and then collected Robin's axe in the forest. The RNG gods have finally blessed me with rain on day 18. So I utilized the moisture in the air and planted those carrot seeds I got last night before dropping off my pickaxe with Clint for the copper upgrade. I did some fishing and grabbed the shad and eel, both of which are only available to be found in rainy conditions, and got the crab pot bundle completed, unlocking the boiler room bundles. I dropped off a couple of watery boys for the ocean and riverfish bundle, then refreshed floor 41 in the mines to farm some coal via dust sprites since I didn't have my pickaxe. I put a cap on this day by dropping off some ingots for the blacksmith's bundle and finishing off the geologist bundle. Day 19 is super short. I watered my strawberries, returned Robin's axe, did some fishing for a request, and collected my first hardwood of the playthrough by chopping these massive stumps. Another downpour of rain highlights day 20, so no watering for me this morning. Instead, I grabbed my copper pickaxe from Clint, then accepted a request from the man in question for 15 iron ore. I got those iron ore collected, made it down to floor 50, then realized my current steel sword wasn't cutting it. So I purchased a pirate sword from Marlin at the Adventurers Guild. Once again, I got a spiral map, 1 floor away from an elevator checkpoint, and didn't have enough luck or time to get a staircase, so I had to admit defeat and run back to the ladder to end the day. After 8 days of watering, a majority of my strawberries are ready for harvest to start day 21. I grabbed the radish salad recipe from the Queen of Sauce, then ran into Leia at the community garden. I thought my live reaction to this next sequence of events was pretty funny, so here it is. Here's a fresh green bean. Let's go, huge. Wait, I ate it? Why am I eating it? You could have used that for the community center, you dumbass. You absolute buffoon. I can't believe you would do that. Oh wait, never mind, we still have it. So with a fresh green bean from Leia, I completed the spring crops bundle and unlocked the vault bundles. I ran by the museum and donated some gems, fished up some anchovies as requested by our friend Gus, and then finally made it down to floor 60 of the mines and got myself a crystal dagger. As I went to bed to call it a day, I got the all-important level 6 in farming, unlocking the quality sprinklers recipe, which will come in handy for those summer crops. It seems the weather is trading off sunny and rainy, so another rainy day greets me on day 22 as the second chunk of strawberries are ready for harvest. Clint had a request open for 20 copper ore, so I accepted that, then ran down to his place of business to upgrade my axe to steel. I saw Morris shilling his coupons at Pierre's, but gave my friend a morale boost by purchasing the deluxe rucksack for 10,000 G. I did a run in the mines to get the copper for Clint's request, and even found myself my first skill book of this playthrough, the Monster Compendium. I finished the day off by getting all the way down to floor 70 of the mines and picking up the Master Slingshot. On day 23, I got all my crops watered and then fulfilled Clint's request for 20 copper ore. I took the rewarded prize ticket and put it in the Helpers bundle over at the community center, then started a mining session. I found my first diamond today and finally made it to the 80+ floors so I could start mining some gold. That prize ticket I got today from Clint was my second I collected, so I finished off the day by watching Mr. Key parachute down some mystery boxes, which can now be found throughout the valley. I've got some good fortune on day 24, but that sentiment is only ironic since it's the flower dance today. So the only lucky part of this day is that I can pick up the rare crow and tub of flowers recipe. As is customary, I made sure to talk to every single attendant at the festival before watching from the nosebleeds, like I always do. Day 25 is another strawberry harvest, so that's good for the old bank account. What isn't great for my wallet, however, is the bookseller being in town. Fortunately for me, his wares are a little too expensive this early in, so I had to be content with only picking up the price catalog today. Clint processed my axe yesterday, but the festival overlap meant I had to wait until today to grab it. While I was at it, I picked up an iridium fishing rod down at Willie's shop and put it to use over at Shearwater Bridge. After a tough fight, I was able to successfully catch a new fishy friend, the butterfish. That evening, I finished up the blacksmith bundle and hit the hay, where I achieved level 8 farming, getting myself the infamous keg crafting recipe. Another round of strawberry harvesting is how I start day 26, and then I put my new axe through its paces by chopping down some of these massive wood logs. With the steel axe, I now have access to the revamped Secret Woods, which contain a free rare seed and leads to an expanded forest area containing this overgrown abandoned vineyard. It's pretty run down, but I did get a free ancient doll out of it. P.S. I totally didn't get lost here. I hit up the traveling merchant who is selling an apple sapling today. Since I have 3 apples I need to get for the fodder bundle, I made sure to plant it ASAP to finish off the day and pick up level 4 foraging. I start off day 27 by chopping down more large stumps and purchasing a pomegranate sapling from Pierre. I get that planted for the Enchanter's bundle, then run up to Robin's workshop to purchase my first farm building, the stable. I hit up the mines to farm some gold and then spent the evening completing a couple of quests for Clint and Caroline, who both requested fish. Day 28 in the final day of spring is a lucky one, so I pretty much spent the entire day mining trying to get to floor 120. I was quickly running out of energy on floor 94 when this happened. I do not have enough energy to do it. Oh! That's crazy. Yes, sir, with the last possible swing of my pickaxe, I found a staircase. Very crazy indeed. The last action of this first season was picking up level 5 mining and selecting the miner profession. Automation is the name of the game to start summer and day 29. I collected some gold bars I had smelting and crafted a handful of quality sprinklers, then got those placed down before running into Demetrius at the fountain, where he yapped about Stardew Valley history for far too long. I then purchased everything I need for the summer crops and flower bundle at the community center, along with a bunch of melons, and got those sowed and watered. I 100% did not notice that the stable was built this morning, so I had my Twitch chat name my horse, and her name is Brownie. I then spent the remainder of this day fishing, trying to get a rainbow trout to no avail. I spent the morning of day 30 clearing off some farm debris, buying some more blueberry seeds, and then did some more fishing, where I not only caught a Dorado, but another skill book, the Jewels of the Sea. I spent the evening planting and watering those new blueberry seeds, and then hit the hay. I selected the Gatherer profession for my level 5 foraging upgrade, along with picking up level 8 fishing. Remember that lady who sent us some mail saying that she was stuck behind the train station? Well, that was Susan, who owns the Emerald Farm next to the spa. Now that the landslide has been cleared up, she woke me up to introduce herself on day 31. That morning, I got my favorite quest in the game, recovering Lewis's underwear, and then watered some blueberries. I've been hoarding some gems, so I finally decided to drive by the museum and get those donated, before running down to the docks to catch some fish for the ocean bundle. I ran into Lewis and Boris having a domestic in front of Joja Mart, before checking on my mushroom cave for the first time. To finish the day off, I completed a request from Sebastian for a single ruby. The morning of day 32, I ran into Willie near the woods as he was showing off his king salmon he caught earlier. That afternoon, I ran into Vincent and Jas playing by the sewer grate, gave Jas a daffodil birthday present, and then finally repaired the bridge at the beach so that I could do some foraging at the tide pools. And one more time, I was one level away from an elevator and got a swirl map, forcing me to abandon my session so I didn't pass out in the mines. I did get level 5 combat and took the fighter profession though, so I guess it wasn't a total loss. I got my blueberries watered, then went over to the train station to catch some falling stones to start day 33. I earmarked this day to complete the lake fish bundle. But before I get that sturgeon, I got myself a carp and a treasure chest with a diamond and a topaz ring, which is pretty sweet. Of course, I eventually catch that sturgeon I needed before completing a request from George for an amethyst. I finished 2 bundles today, the aforementioned lake fish bundle, and I also got the summer forageables bundle done and dusted. I traded that summer seed reward for some more blueberry seeds, then went back into the mines where I got myself a cool little squire's helmet before finally making it down to floor 100 and collecting my first star drop of the playthrough. I started off day 34 by planting those blueberry seeds I got yesterday, then accepted a request from Robin for 25 pieces of stone. But before I hit the mines, I wanted to buy even more blueberry seeds. I eventually got all that stone that Robin required and completed the request before running back to the farm to fix my seed layout because I just noticed it's off by the smallest margin. One blueberry had to be sacrificed, but perfect symmetry is worth it. I then finished the day off by making a couple more quality sprinklers and getting them placed down in the field. That theme continues into day 35, where I collected the bars needed to make even more sprinklers. I got some ripe crops harvested, caught a pufferfish down at the docks, and then went back into the mines where I, once again, had to abandon my session one floor above an elevator to end the day. On day 36, I decided enough is enough with these mines. I watered my crops and planted some summer squash, caught some fish to use as food, and went down to the mines where I finally made it all the way to floor 120 and collected the skull key. That's all I did today. That was what I wanted to do, and I just went to bed. I decided to expand my farming space on day 37, and here's a check-in about where I stand on these levels. Level 8 in farming and fishing is encouraging, but I'm more worried about getting level 10 combat and foraging before these 100 days are up. I caught some fish down at the beach and sold them off to Willie to finance even more blueberry seeds that I got placed on the farm. Then it's back down to the mines to farm dust sprites for coal to end the day. I got some mail from Lewis to start day 38, letting me know that the luau is tomorrow. But right now, I need to keep expanding the quality sprinkler automation. I pretty much used all of this day farming foraging XP, collecting wood, and cleaning up the farm. All that chopping got me to level 6 foraging, rewarding me with another important crafting recipe, the lightning rod. I spent the morning of day 39 harvesting crops and fishing before the luau. I needed a gold quality sturgeon to put in the soup to get the unforgettable soup achievement. And as soon as I got that, I hightailed it down to the beach. Obviously, I did my due diligence and did some small talk with every villager attending before placing my catch of the day in the pot and watching as the governor praised the delicious concoction. I was checking the weather to start day 40, and to my surprise, the valley is finally going to experience some thunderstorms tomorrow. So the first thing I did was craft a couple of lightning rods and get them placed next to my house. I then spent the morning further expanding my quality sprinkler space and gave Dusty some pets, before purchasing a handful of melon seeds from Pierre. Up at the community center, I made some progress towards completing the summer crops bundle, and then planted my newly purchased melon seeds. I then decided to finish the day off by doing some dust sprite and iron ore farming, where I got myself a mining monthly drop, which was an easy decision to read. My first crop of melons are ready to harvest to start off a dreary day 41, and I spent the morning chopping down more trees for foraging XP. Down at the beach, I unearthed the 𝐁𝐵𝐵 skill book, and the +1 defense will really help me out in the mines. But my goal today was to catch the crimson fish, which did not go as planned. At least I got the red snapper and was able to complete the ocean fish bundle. I then spent all night at the dock looking for that crimson fish, but had to utilize a farm warp totem as it had gotten too late to get back home. I got back-to-back rainy days on day 42, but more importantly, I was able to collect 2 battery packs from the storm yesterday. I harvested my first round of blueberries and then beelined it to the community center to complete the engineer's bundle, totally repairing the boiler room. While I was there, I also completed the summer crops bundle. With wind in my sails, I ran over to Clint's shop and put in for the steel pickaxe upgrade and repopulated my farm with melon seeds. That evening, I was finally able to successfully catch my first ever legendary fish, the crimson fish, before calling it a day and watching the 𝐁𝐿𝐴 babies repair the town minecart. As I went to check the weather to start day 43, it would appear that we are getting some green rain tomorrow. So it was finally time to prepare some pathing, not only to make the farm look nice, but also to fully utilize the tree growing power of the green rain. That afternoon, I sold off some stockpiled crops, purchased more melon seeds, and further expanded my farm space south to the newly erected tree farm. I then took my first ever ride on the newly refurbished minecarts and did some fishing at the lake to finish the day. As you can see, planting those trees yesterday was a stroke of genius, as almost half of my oak trees are now fully grown to start day 44. Most of the day, though, was spent hacking down all these grass monsters to get mixed seeds, fiber, and moss. Of course, I went down to the saloon to check in on all of the townsfolk before completing the forest bundle at the community center. I harvested my first ever starfruit, got some foraging XP and hardwood in the secret woods, and finished the day off by getting level 7 foraging. Day 45 starts by harvesting some ripe blueberries and getting them tossed into the shipping bin before crafting a handful of tappers and getting those plopped into the oak trees. I picked up my steel pickaxe from Clint, then ran over to the community center to complete the garden bundle. Back on the farm, I can finally remove these pesky mega rocks, but it looks like I'll need another upgrade until I'm able to see what this building is. I spent the remainder of this day down in the mines farming slimes for combat XP and gold for mining XP. I'm placing some more scarecrows to start day 46 as I noticed that a couple of my crops have disappeared. My plan today was to buy a silo, so I got some copper in the mines, smelted it up real quick and ran down to Robin's, but of course, she wasn't working today. So I completed a quest by giving Penny an iron bar, caught some fish over at Shearwater Bridge, and purchased a couple of vault bundles at the community center. To finish off the day, I destroyed the boulder by 𝐻𝐿𝐼 and picked up another skill book, the alleyway buffet. Another crop of blueberries are ready for harvest on day 47, and the first thing I did today was wait patiently outside Robin's house and purchase myself a silo to start my ranching journey. With a steel pickaxe, I now have the ability to visit the dwarf, but without all 4 dwarf scrolls, he just speaks gibberish to my ears. The only scroll I need left is number 4, so I spent pretty much all day in the 80+ floors of the mines farming monsters to try and snag it. When I went to bed, I was greeted with the level 9 farming upgrade, including 2 of the best recipes in the game, the Iridium Sprinkler and Seed Maker. I don't have enough Iridium yet to commit to Iridium Sprinklers, so I start off day 48 by crafting some Seed Makers, then picking up these bloomed flowers. I completed a request for 1 quartz from George, and then spent most of the day in the mines hunting for that dwarf scroll. Fun fact, you actually have a higher chance of finding scrolls while digging than you do from monster drops. Your mileage may vary though, since I didn't find it today. But I did find this bait and bobber book for some easy fishing XP. To put a cap on today, I ran over to the community center and finished off the helpers bundle. I start off day 49 by harvesting some blueberries, and now that my silo is finally built, I can start cutting down all this grass on the farm and get it transformed into hay. Now that I've got a silo full of animal food, I'm gonna need some animals to eat it. So I purchased a coop from Robin, then ran down to Pierre's to give Caroline a flower, since I'm gonna need to steal some of those tea leaves from her eventually. I ended day 49 in the mines, killing some red slimes for a request from Lewis. It's day 50, and I am harvesting more crops before running over to Lewis's house to collect my reward for killing all those slimes. I ran into Clint at the train station, and he needed my help to blow up this giant rock leading to the summit. He's gonna need 20 iridium and 20 coal to do that, but that sounds like a lot of work, and I'd much rather relax and get some fishing XP instead. Another day on the farm means another morning spent harvesting crops. On day 51, I finally decided to crack open all the geodes I was hoarding over at Clint's workshop. I don't know how many gems I was able to donate to the museum, so I'll just say that it was a lot. Today was Victor's birthday, so I gave him some Star Drop tea, and I finally have a bachelor at 3 hearts. Side note, I'm letting you guys pick who I marry in this playthrough. So get in the comments and let me know who you want to see me get married to. Whichever character has the most comments wins, so make your voice count today. After celebrating Victor's birthday, I unearthed another ancient seed in front of Robin's house. And then it's back to the mines, where I finished the day by hunting for that final dwarf scroll. But luck was once again not on my side. Day 52 though is a good luck day, so I quickly checked my mail and got a recipe from Victor, harvested a bunch of melons in the field, and collected some ready oak resin. Today I officially started my kegging empire and got some inaugural blueberries and wheat fermenting. Now that my coop has been completed, I can finally buy some chickens that I named Dwarf the First and Scroll the Third, hoping this naming convention will assist me in my quest. I also purchased the barn and got it placed right next to the coop. I wish I could have used this resin for kegs, but the Brewer's Bundle and Enchanter's Bundle take priority. Speaking of priorities, I took another step towards an Iridium Axe by upgrading my Steel Axe to gold before gifting Caroline another flower and giving Willie a gold bar birthday present. Another request I had to complete was giving Sam a red mullet, but before I could give it to him, he ran into his room, so I guess I'll just have to end the day staring at a locked door. A nice and rainy blueberry harvest is the perfect way to start day 53, and then I picked up a request for copper ore from Clint. I completed George's hot pepper quest before running into Caroline's sunroom and stealing some tea leaves. Down in the mines, I collected the necessary ore for Clint, and I had no luck trying to get a lava eel, and finished the day off by throwing that tea leaf into a keg. Some juicy melons are ready for plucking on day 54, and that green tea fermented overnight. My ancient seed farm is off to a rousing start in the seed maker, And I finally initiated the Mr. Key questline by throwing a battery in this little box in the tunnel and dropping off a rainbow shell at the train station. I picked up my golden axe at Clint's, and then it's back into the mines where this happened. Oh my god! That's right, I finally got the 4th dwarf scroll. So to end the day, I went back to my farm and dug out all the pathing I made, since tomorrow I can get the best pathing item in the game. But before that, you know I have to start day 55 by harvesting blueberries. Over at Robin's, I got the 2nd best path recipe, the stepping stone path, and then I dropped off the final scroll at the museum to receive the Dwarven translation guide. Now I can finally get my hands on the weathered floor recipe. The whole reason I was trying to get that scroll in the first place. I literally spent the rest of the day making my farm look nice with the weathered floors and stone stepping paths, and then went to bed, where I was greeted with the 10th and final level in farming, where I selected the artisan profession. Now that my farm is moving in the aesthetic direction I want, I started off day 56, the final day of summer, by chopping down my oak tree farm. I then went down to the traveling merchant to pick up another rare seed, and I pretty much spent the entirety of today doing more beautification on the farm, preparing for that fall crop. I stopped by the community center to throw some stuff into the brewer's bundle, then attended the dance of the moonlight jellies and just vibed out while the best music track in the game played in the background. The first day of autumn, day 57, begins by tilling out every square covered by my sprinklers, then running over to Pierre's to purchase some eggplants and pumpkins. I got all those seeds watered, and by the time I was done, it was pretty late. So I just fished at the river until bed, hoping to catch a tiger trout. The morning of day 58, I acquired some broccoli seeds, then found Robin and Lewis putting up the special orders board. Before I check that out though, I have a couple of items I need to deposit into some bundles. Overnight, I guess a meteor fell on my farm, so I guess I had some good luck seeing that it didn't hit any of my crops. Back at the special orders board, I grabbed the Curious Substance quest from the wizard, and then gave Penny an emerald for her birthday, before watching her partake in some elder abuse. I still had no luck catching a tiger trout today, but I had some wine ready that instantly got thrown into the brewing bundle. I spent the remainder of the day down in the mines hunting ghosts, where I was able to pick up that ectoplasm on the first day I got the quest. My apple tree is full of fruit the morning of day 59, and that maple tree finally matured so I can get it tapped. I stopped at the community center to drop off those 3 apples and wine before completing Linus's request for a single cave carrot. The wizard got his sticky white ectoplasm, but he wouldn't let me play in his basement. The rest of the day was spent fishing. I caught myself the legendary anglerfish, failed to catch a tiger trout once again, made a brief stop at Lewis's house to get some more Stardrop tea, and then finished the day by fishing up a super cucumber by the docks. My reward for finding that ectoplasm for the wizard came via the mailbox on day 60, the mini obelisk recipe. After spending way too much time fishing, I finally got that tiger trout and finished the river fish bundle. Now I can get started on the legendary fish, starting with this here lava eel that instantly gets deposited. But don't worry, the fishing doesn't end there. After a quick break replanting my oak tree farm, I went and caught the walleye, the final fish needed for the night fishing bundle. I also finished the fall foraging bundle to put a cap on day 60. To start off day 61, I expanded my farm area further south, and it might look ugly right now, but it'll all come together eventually. I expanded my path further north towards the mountains and purchased the 10,000 G bundle at the vault. To finish the day off, I gave Elliot some Stardrop tea for his birthday. On day 62, I finally decided to deposit the ancient fruit I grew into the rare crops bundle instead of throwing it into the seed maker. I stopped by Pierre's to get more pumpkin seeds to plant in my expanded farm section, and then spent the remainder of the day farming XP, starting with foraging in the forest, and then finishing down by the docks with fishing. I collected some eggs and said hello to Dwarf and Scroll the morning of day 63, then finally finished the vault room at the community center by paying for the 25,000 G bundle. Since I was already splashing cash today, I decided to upgrade my coop at Robin's, then went down to the mines to farm levels for mining and combat. To finish the day off, I started my jade farm by tossing the gem into my 25,000 G crystallarium, and as I slept, the Junimo friends became certified mechanics and repaired the bus for me and opened up the route to the Calico Desert. Cranberries are ready for harvest on day 64. as well as the final amount of wheat I needed for the community center. I decided to spend this rainy morning doing some beautification. This little stone section will eventually become my artisan goods assembly line, so I might as well throw my furnaces down here for the time being. Today is Claire's birthday, so I gifted her a sunflower, and then took my first ever trip to Calico Desert, thanks to Pam the bus driver. I guess the developers were inspired by a very tangible design element when naming the Stardew Valley Expanded mod, because this desert goes 4 miles. I'm not complaining though, this will be the perfect place for my wood farm. I inserted the skull key into the scary door and took my first step into the skull cavern, quickly realizing that I was not prepared for this and promptly turned tail and ran. While I was in the desert though, I formally introduced myself to Sandy at the oasis and bought myself beet seeds for the key quest to call it a day. I started day 65 by smelting some gold, then expanded my assembly line so that I could include the kegs and preserve jar. I picked up an iron ore inspection quest from Clint and completed the fodder bundle over at the community center. I went down into the mines to farm some combat XPs and acquire the necessary ore for that previously mentioned request, and then I got it completed by talking to Clint. I took another trip to Calico Desert to acquire some cloth from a mummy and finished the day off by fishing at the desert pond, hoping for a scorpion carp that I realized much later is only able to be caught from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. Because I got that cloth yesterday, Emily is at my door to start off day 66, and I can now use her sewing machine. I'm sure I'll do that eventually, but for now, I need to waste the entire day at the desert pond trying to catch a scorpion carp. All I got though was this lousy sandfish, but at least the furnaces have some gold bars ready for me. To start up day 67, I harvested some eggplants and placed some melons in the kegs and preserves jar. I had just enough money to upgrade my coop to deluxe at Robin's, got all but a single pumpkin donated for the fall crops bundle, then gave Jody a diamond as her birthday gift before accepting Susan's homemade fertilizer quest. That afternoon, I decided to gear up at Willie's, take the bus over to Calico Desert, and finally catch that scorpion carp. With the trap bobber and some deluxe bait, it didn't take as long as I thought it would, so I spent the remainder of my time in the desert planting seeds that would later become my tree farm. Back in Pelican Town, I submitted the scorpion carp to the rare fish bundle and completed the most annoying part of the community center restoration, in my opinion, the fish tank. That evening, I caught a midnight carp for a request, which maxed out my fishing level, and I ended the day by selecting the angler profession, allowing the Junimos to destroy this little rock near the lake. My maple tree has finally delivered the maple syrup I've been looking for, so I can finally cut it down to start day 68. With that maple syrup, I crafted my first bee house, expanded my assembly section, and got that bee house placed before reading a mining monthly book I found digging up artifact spots. Since those Junimos broke that rock last night, panning spots are now available throughout the valley, so Willie gifted me a copper panner. I ran into Victor down at Shearwater Bridge and listened to him nerd out about the architecture and physics of bridges, but what I really came here to do is fish. This legendary expanded fish was a little too tough for me, so I went down to the saloon to drink away my sorrows, where I ran into Claire and offered to pay for her meal for the evening. To finish the day off, I completed Leah's request for that midnight carp I got last night, and then threw some more tappers on some oak trees, and did my first ever panning session. So I hope you guys are ready for panning with... No, that's copyrighted. I can't do that. I can't do that. On day 69, I got another round of cranberries harvested and sold off, before checking the brand new deluxe coop Robin just completed. The amount of animals I have is only going to increase, so I bought another silo and ran down to Willie's shop to get the best bobber in the game. Back on the farm, I collected all my readied bars of steel and iridium, crafted all the quality fertilizer needed to complete Susan's quest, and spent the remainder of the day farming wood and foraging XP in the forest. I had a max luck day, as shown by this brand new Fortune TV channel graphic on day 70. So I quickly harvested all my newly ripe pumpkins, hit up Pierre's to refresh on seeds, get all those planted on the farm, and then sprinted over to the community center to finish the fall crops bundle. I bought my first rabbit today, and his God-given name is Stinker. Please refer to him as such. I picked up Linus's berry basket, completed Jody's request for a single cauliflower, then returned the basket to our nomadic friend before spending the evening in the secret woods farming foraging XP by collecting hardwood and grabbing new mushrooms, like this Rafflesia mushroom. I don't know how to pronounce that. I did my best. I may not have gotten that foraging level up I wanted, but killing some slimes did get me to level 8 combat, and I got a decent cash infusion thanks to those sold pumpkins. The morning of day 71, Jody woke me up and asked me to come over to her house for dinner with a largemouth bass. While I caught this carp, I found myself an ancient doll in a treasure chest, but I did eventually catch that bass that Jody wanted. But that ancient doll gave me an idea. I've been having trouble in the Skull Cavern, and a new feature in Stardew 1.6 allows you to sacrifice an ancient doll at floor 100 for the faraway stone. You can then take that stone and give it to a statue in the wizard's basement and get a pretty good sword. But it looks like I don't have enough friendship with the wizard to do that exchange, so I guess it's back to the drawing board when it comes to a new weapon. Over at Clint's, I put in for the gold pickaxe upgrade, and then picked up the infamous prismatic jelly quest, which will be a little difficult provided I just lost my pickaxe for 3 days. But I will not be deterred. I went down to the mines and refreshed floor 41 over and over again, but no dice today. Day 72 is the Harvest Festival, so I got all my rarest items loaded up, harvest some ripe eggplants, and then spent the morning clearing out all the normal grass on the farm so that the rarer bluegrass can grow since it's better for animal friendship. Over at the town square, I got my booth set up and received the first place ribbon and all the stars that come with it. After doing some very successful gambling, I had enough stars to purchase the star drop to permanently increase my energy. After playing some lights out target slingshot and doing even more gambling, I had enough stars to get the rare crow and extra prize ticket to end the day. By the way, if you're ever doing gambling and you're new to Stardew, always bet your money on green. I think there's like a 2.5 times more likely chance to hit green than orange. So yeah, just a little pro tip there. I started day 73 by placing some pumpkins in my newly crafted preserve jars, then ran down to Clint's to pick up my golden pickaxe. With this, I can finally knock down those asteroids and clean up this newly accessible section of the farm, equipped with a money tree that is totally not the same money tree from Animal Crossing. I went inside the dilapidated house, and it's totally destroyed, so I just decided to leave it and search for that super rare prismatic slime, but of course, it finds a way to escape my grasp once again. The morning of day 74, Robin stops by and asks to inspect my newly reachable shed. She says she can get it fixed up, and we'll talk specifics later, but for now, I got some cranberries to harvest. As I was going to buy some more animals, Marnie decided to not sell anything today, and an invisible friendship force field kept me from making my way into her bedroom, even though the door is wide open. On the bright side, I was able to find and dispatch the prismatic slime and provide the wizard with his juices to complete that quest. Before going to bed, I restocked the furnaces with ore and picked up the penultimate level in mining. Marnie was at my door the first thing on day 75 asking for a cave carrot. But before I can do that, I've got to check out the mail where the all-important Monster Musk recipe is waiting for me, along with a couple other messages and requests. I got all my pumpkins harvested, gave one of them to Caroline, and then dropped in the final item needed to complete the brewer's bundle and restore the pantry to its former glory. While doing some foraging, I found Jas lost in the forest, so I helped her find her way home since I was going there anyways to deliver Marnie the cave carrot she requested. I guess that's all that Marnie needed to let me into her inner sanctum and collect Lewis's underwear. At the traveling merchant, I grabbed the snowman rare crow, which will become important later, and then stopped by Robin's to get a quote on restoring that old shed. 150 hardwood, 600 stone, 50 iron bars, and 20 battery packs is a steep price. So we're gonna put that on the back burner. For now, I'm just going to buy the big chest recipe. But I also saw that the expanded mod adds another coop upgrade. So I guess I'm gonna have to get that too at some point. I gave Evelyn an iron bar to complete one of her requests, and utilized the prize ticket reward to grab myself one of the best skill books in the game, Friendship 101, which will give me an extra 10% friendship gain to every villager. Back on the farm, I crafted a couple of big chests to replace my current small ones. Pro tip though, you can just plop these big ones on top of the small ones to entirely replace the items inside. That evening, I got schwasty with Elliot down at the saloon, told Lewis where I found his underwear in front of almost everyone in town, replaced some more small chests with big chests, and chopped a whole bunch of trees just north of my house to farm some wood and foraging XP. While I slept, the Junimos repaired the greenhouse and kicked out a raccoon living there. True to the name Stardew Valley Expanded, I found that the greenhouse has received a generous increase in space to start day 76. So it looks like I'll have plenty of growing space for these ancient seeds I'm planting. There's thunderstorms in the forecast tomorrow, so I crafted and slapped down a handful of lightning rods, then made my way to the Calico Desert to purchase some starfruit seeds from Sandy. I finally got those beet seeds I bought a while ago planted in the main crop field, along with my recently purchased starfruit seeds in the greenhouse, which I had moved to be closer to my house. I spent the remainder of the day in the forest, chopping trees for wood and XP, which bore fruit in the form of level 9 foraging. I got some ripe eggplant to harvest on day 77, then it's over to the secret woods to get some hardwood, one piece of which is earmarked as a birthday gift for Robin. I ran up to the Adventurers Guild to grab the Mapping Cave Systems book and check in on my Monster Slayer goals. I noticed I needed to kill 1 cave bug, so I did that, and then completed a request to kill 6 red slimes from Lewis. That pretty much took all evening, so I ended the day by getting some copper bars queued up for tomorrow. My sweet gem berries were ripe to start day 78, so I got those plucked, collected the various ores, battery packs, and artisan goods that were ready and waiting, and replanted some more rare seeds in the greenhouse, before making my way down to Old Master Cannoli to collect my 3rd star drop. After talking to Lewis to complete that Red Slime Slayer request, I ran up to the bookseller to purchase 2 books, the Horse Book and Old Slitherlegs, for a combined 50,000 G. I've been hoarding a lot of geodes, so I decided to crack them all open with the help of Clint and donate them to the museum to help out my friend Gunther. For those of you keeping track, I only have 12 more gems to go, which is pretty good, in my opinion. Additionally, I went back to Clint's to break open some mystery boxes and got the Book of Mysteries, which should really help getting more boxes. To finish off the day, I went over to Calico Desert to expand my tree farm, but the only noteworthy thing that happened in my Skull Cavern run was getting this little ancient seed. Gunther woke me up on day 79 to let me know that the Secretary of Artifacts is going to honor the museum with the Golden Shovel Award. Golden Shovel or not, I have some farming chores to do that include collecting some ready-made artisan goods, harvesting the ripe cranberries, expanding my kegging enterprise, and planting that ancient fruit seed I found yesterday. As I was doing some foraging, I found a massive tree stump in the forest and paid the 100 hardwood required to transform it to a comfy little shire house. That afternoon, I saw Marlin sneak down into the sewer to do God knows what with the town's waste, and then picked up the Biome Balance quest from Demetrius. I donated some dinosaur bones I collected yesterday, then accepted another fishing request. So we're killing 2 birds with 1 stone by finishing the day with all this fishing. As I was checking the mail to start day 80, I got 40,000 G courtesy of Gunther for the Golden Shovel Award. I guess it pays to hoard all those gems and artifacts. That morning, I got some melons placed in the kegs and preserve jars, slapped some more tabards on the oak trees, and ran up to the train station to catch some flying wood. I accepted another ore inspection quest from Clint before giving George a leek for his birthday. With all that extra money burning a hole in my pocket, I ran over to Marnie's to purchase 2 cows named Bessie and Messy, a rabbit named Winker, and 2 ducks named Goose and Duck. I stopped in to check on and pet my brand new animals, collected some ready iridium bars, and finished the day off at the docks, completing Demetrius' quests and catching the 2 albacore I needed to complete Willie's quest. I started day 81 in the mines, collecting copper to complete yet another request, this time for Clint. I dropped off my pickaxe to get upgraded to iridium, and then talked to the bearded blacksmith to complete that previously mentioned request. With the resulting prize ticket, I got a new hat, so you know I had to equip it, before cleaning out my almost never visited mushroom cave. I spent the remainder of the day chopping stumps for hardwood and exploring the forest where I found an ancient sword. Evelyn was at my door to start day 82 as she gifted me a garden pot. I got all of my newly ripe crops plucked, said hello to all of my birds and rabbits, then dropped off some amaranth to complete a request from Marnie. While I was there, I purchased some supplies for the incoming winter, then got myself a rabbit's foot from the traveling merchant, which goes straight into the enchanter's bundle. I put a lid on day 82 by farming more wood and foraging XP at the lake. My final harvest of pumpkins kickstarts day 83. I get those jammed in the preserve jars before expanding my ancient fruit farm in the greenhouse. Since today is the Spear's Eve festival, much like last night, I spent most of the day just farming wood and foraging XP while I waited for the festival to get set up. I did get myself a farming skill book for my treble, which will be saved for mastery XP gains since I've already got level 10 farming. At the festival, I picked up the jack-o'-lantern recipe, the witch rare crow, and a single jack-o'-lantern before completing the maze and collecting my golden pumpkin. I've got one final harvest of cranberries to start day 84, the final day of autumn. I got the jack-o'-lantern donated to complete the Spear's Eve bundle and accepted another ore inspection request from Clint. I swear, once I finish the do 40 request achievement, I'm not taking these anymore. I went over to the very same blacksmith to pick up my iridium pickaxe, killed some time by chopping down some trees, and Susan finally came out of her kegging room so that I could give her a birthday gift. some chocolate cake. I collected all the ores I needed to complete Clint's request, and had a couple of drinks with Shane, Pam, and Andy at the saloon, and then tucked myself in for the night. Day 85 in the first day of winter starts in the coop, making sure all my animals are nice and warm in these snowy conditions. I finally finished the keg line in the machine section, then ran down to the special orders board to accept Marlin's mysterious adventure, which is to craft a bunch of bombs. While doing some foraging, I found myself some powder melon seeds, the only crop you can grow in these frigid conditions, and happened upon some holly in the forest, the final forageable I needed to complete the winter foraging bundle and restore the crafts room to its rightful splendor. Up at the Adventurers Guild, I tossed a couple bombs into Marlin's chest, and finished the day off by crafting and consuming some monster musk to do some dust sprite farming. While I slept, my Junimo friends repaired the bridge, opening up the quarry. I spent the morning of day 86 crafting all the extra bombs needed to complete Marlin's quest, and then added a coffee section to my greenhouse with all the beans I collected last night. The final item I need to complete the community center is the Nautilus shell. So, while I haven't found it in the first 2 days of winter, I will be returning daily to the beach until I get one. Just in case one of the most astronomically rare things happens and I don't get a Nautilus shell, I started befriending Demetrius since he's known to mail you one from time to time. I completed Marlin's request by depositing all those bombs I made, picked up a lava katana for the Skull Caverns, then started clearing out the quarry by getting rid of every stone, ore, and gem node in a half-mile radius. I spent the evening fishing down at the docks to catch a squid to complete another request, this time for Willy, and the final act of day 86 was to make my unofficial introduction to Krobus and pick up the magnifying glass. I kicked off day 87 by collecting some melon wine and throwing some fertilizer on my oak resin farm since these trees won't grow in this cold weather. I got my first bit of milk from Bessie and Messy in the barn, completed my line of preserves jars, and refilled the jars and kegs with pumpkins before harvesting my star fruits. I hate relying on NPCs to sell seeds. Say that one 5 times fast. I hate relying on NPCs to sell seeds. So I made some seed makers and started my own starfruit seed business. Of course, I won't be selling these seeds. The business comes in the form of cutting out the middleman. I accepted the wizard's request to kill a squid kid, gave Linus a coconut birthday present, then delved into the mines to dispatch the red fire-spitting boy to end the day. That Nautilus shell still eludes me on day 88, but I got some powder melon seeds to soften the blow. I got those sowed and watered with their brethren before popping down to the wizard tower to complete the request from yesterday and give him a purple mushroom as a gesture of good faith. That afternoon, I saw him LARPing in the forest pretending to control a magic barrier before running over to the museum to deposit some artifacts. Only 15 more artifacts to go until I'm done. I had Pam take me out to the Calico Desert, where I unearthed my first secret note and did a dive into the Skull Cavern. The only highlight of this run was the fact that I was able to actually survive down here until midnight, so that's a big W. I guess I was more successful than I thought, since Mr. Key airmailed me 10,000 G the morning of day 89. But the most exciting moment of today happens down at the beach, where I have finally been blessed with the Nautilus shell. But before I get that deposited in the community center, I purchased and read both of the Way of the Wind books from the bookseller to permanently increase my movement speed. With my newfound speed, I raced over to the community center faster than I've ever galloped before and deposited the Nautilus shell, completing the field research bundle, restoring the bulletin board, and officially renovating the Stardew Valley Community Center to its former glory. As the Junimos wave goodbye, I can put a check mark on my first goal I set out in the beginning of this video, completing the community center. With that being said, there is still so much to do. So I hightail it down to the beach to catch a sea cucumber and give that to Linus to complete a request. While I was at it, I decided to do some more fishing and catch myself another legendary fish, the glacier fish. And to finish off the day, I placed 10 beets into Lewis's fridge to advance the Mr. Key questline and read a very interesting secret note I found foraging in the secret woods. With the bulletin board complete, I got 2 extra hearts of friendship with every non-romanceable NPC in the valley to start day 90. So here's a look at the current heart levels of everyone. Just another reminder, you guys get to pick who we marry. So again, put a comment in the comment section who you want to marry, most comments wins. That morning, I checked on Messy and Bessie and made sure they're fed, plopped some more tappers on the oak tree farm, then went up to the community center to see the grand reopening, where everyone in town is enjoying the rejuvenated facility. Well, everyone except Morse. Pierre could have used his fist to run him out of town, but instead we all chose to gang up on him and hurl verbal insults until he scurried away. Over at George's house, he told me about the time that he got his back blown out in the mines, and then Evelyn and I made him cookies where she taught me her famous recipe. I donated a couple of bones to the museum, then took the bus out to Calico Desert and got a lucky rabbit's foot drop from a serpent. I read some more secret notes I found, gave our decomposed dragon friend a solar essence snack, and ended the day by picking up the level 9 combat upgrade and the level 10 mining upgrade, in which I elected to take the prospector profession. On day 91, Pierre woke me up with the information that he'll have some new seeds starting next year. But what I really want is this club card hidden in my pile of wood. In my mailbox, I got the news that Pierre's will be open 7 days a week. Willie wants me to come down to his shop, and the ice fishing competition is tomorrow. I got some pumpkin juice collected and then ran to town to see the only negative of JoJoMart going under. No one told Claire, and she showed up to work in the freezing cold only to find out she's out of a job. Oh, I honestly feel really bad just rewatching this. I'm gonna put all that guilt to the side for now, because I got myself the special charm in exchange for a rabbit's foot from the JoJoCo delivery guy, who's probably gonna have to get a new route soon. Over in the forest, a little teleportation circle has been revealed. I warped through, took a couple of looks around, and noped out of there. That sounds like a chore for that sucker Future Jack to deal with. Current Jack is going to pick up this Woodcutter's Weekly book and read it ASAP to get level 10 foraging. Today is Caroline's birthday, so I gave her a fish taco I got from breaking open a couple mystery boxes, then went down to the desert to do another Skull Caverns run, where I finally found myself a prismatic shard. I've only done a couple of runs in the Skull Caverns with my lava katana, but it's already become redundant with the Galaxy Sword now in my hands. RIP Lava Katana, you were a real one. Anyways, it's late, so I warped home and called it a day by opting for the botanist profession with my level 10 foraging upgrade. Some more oak trees have fully matured, so I spent the morning at day 92 getting those tapped. I harvested my first round of powder melons and got them turned into seeds, which subsequently got replanted before picking up Willie's Bug Guts special request. Remember on day 75 when I said this? At the traveling merchant, I grabbed the snowman rare crow, which will become important later. Well, that's because I spent way too much time in the mines today, looking for bugs to kill, that I totally forgot that today was the ice fishing competition. The one thing I really wanted from that festival was that rare crow, so it's incredibly lucky that I already had one. But with the extra time I have on my hands for not attending the festival, I made my way to the Calico Desert, flashed my newly acquired club card to the bouncer, bought about 1,000 key coins, and did some gambling. I kid you not, I probably spent about 1 hour in real time just hitting the Bet 100 button over and over until I finally got a triple diamond on the slots. That gave me over 100,000 key coins. With that balance, I was able to pick up another rare crow and the Statue of Treasure that'll give me a free artifact trove every day. To end the day while I was in the clubhouse, I formally introduced myself to Mr. Key, the man who seems to be the puppet master behind all the goings-on in Stardew Valley. I'm in the greenhouse to kick off day 93, harvesting and replanting coffee beans. As quickly as I left Calico Desert, I am back, doing my first Skull Cavern run with my freshly minted Galaxy Sword. It was a pretty decent session today as I got a fair amount of iridium ore, a lucky iridium bar drop, and another prismatic shard, as well as my first ever treasure floor containing some artifact troves. I'd spend more time here if I could, but the 2 a.m. bell tolls for everyone, so I popped a warp totem and ended the day by getting my furnaces stuffed with iridium ore. I retrieved the bars that smelted overnight to start day 94, crafted some monster musk, got myself a rabbit's foot from the coop, then got all perfumed up and hit the mines, looking for bugs to squash. I spent a couple hours getting some bug meat, ran over to Clint's to put in for my Iridium Max upgrade, then met up with Marlon and Gil as they turned over all the bombs I crafted to a magic user named JackDuckGoose. Marlon was so happy with my bombs that he allowed me to use the Adventurers Guild ledger to buy decorations. And that evening, I had a chat with Linus and Robin, where our disheveled friend thanked me for not trying to change him. I gave Sebastian his rabbit's foot birthday present before heading back into the mines and searching for more bugs to kill. After a quick and squishy session with Linus in his tent, I ended the day by picking up the wild bait recipe and crafting the iridium band. I've got another round of pumpkin juice ready for sale to kick off day 95, and then it's over to the greenhouse to increase my coffee bean capacity. I got my kegs topped off with more pumpkins before diving right back into the mines to finish off this godforsaken bug guts request. As I was going to deliver the guts, I ran into Willy having a little crab problem, and Gus and I helped him wrangle the crustaceans, before I finally did what I came here to do, which is drop off these pink morsels. Since tomorrow is the first day of Squid Fest, I crafted a bait maker, then ran up to the Adventurers Guild where Marlin informed me that he is now selling all the other galaxy weapons. He also introduced me to another adventurer, Alicia. I put a cap on day 95 by killing this Dougie to accomplish a Monster Slayer goal, then picked up the final rare crow I needed from the dwarf. I woke up on day 96 to collect my artifact trove, got the deluxe scarecrow recipe in the mail, and also accepted the wizard's request for 1 void essence. Down at the beach, I picked up the quality bobber recipe courtesy of Willy's mountain of sentient bug guts, and spent the morning catching 8 squid to get the iridium reward for day 1 of Squidfest, which is headlined by the Art o' Crabbing skill book. Of course, Clint wasn't at the shop for me to get my axe today, so I used his room for some light reading, if you know what I mean. I then stopped by the museum to give Gunther a pearl for his birthday, and spent the evening completing the wizard's quest for that void essence, thus starting me down the Wizard Inc. questline. I ended my day down at the saloon, finishing off a couple of requests for Susan and Emily. Day 97 begins in the coop, collecting my first feather and checking up on my animals before running over to the greenhouse to further expand my coffee plants. Finally, Clint is actually working, and I can collect my iridium axe, checking off the second goal I set out for myself for these first 100 days, having an iridium axe and pickaxe. While I knew Clint was actually working, I popped open a couple of geodes and donated my haul of new items to the museum before crushing day 2 of Squidfest and receiving some pretty neat rewards. Clint is still being a pain in my butt though, putting out all of these ore inspection quests, but I got this copper one done and talked to Clint for the 3rd time today to complete it. With the resulting prize ticket, I received and read a copy of Combat Quarterly to end the day. I start off day 98 in the greenhouse, harvesting my ripe starfruits and then getting them turned into seeds, which get replanted. I crafted my deluxe scarecrow and dug up some more artifacts by the bus stop before running over to the blacksmith to crack open some more mystery boxes, which yielded some pretty great rewards, including another prismatic shard. But the most important moment today came in the secret woods. I was collecting some hardwood and killing some slimes, and I finally reached level 10 combat, checking off the 3rd and final goal I set out to complete in these first 100 days. Reach level 10 in all 5 skills. Day 98 is Harvey's birthday, so I gave my mustachioed friend some coffee, read the Farmer's Almanac book that I've been hoarding, then finished the day off by making some amazing progress on the kegging quarry. It's a quarry. I made progress by knocking down a lot of trees, picking out the rocks, and laying down some stone flooring. While I slept, I also opted for the brute profession with my level 10 combat upgrade. More powder melons are ready for harvest to start day 99, along with a whole bunch of pumpkin juice and pickled bok choy. Outside of the artisan machines like kegs and preserve jars, I think seed makers might be my favorite machine in the game since it's essentially making Pierre useless. I collected some ready resin at my oak tree farm and crafted 15 kegs before helping Sebastian repair his motorcycle. Now that I officially have some kegs down, I can call the quarry a kegging farm without having to correct myself. I accepted Gus's famous omelet special request, then stopped by the Mastery Cave for the first time. Only 100,000 XP until this is complete. I went back home and crafted another 11 kegs, got them placed down on the keg farm, and then ran down to the beach to attend the first day of the night market. I got myself a pearl by entering the correct code at the mermaid show, then went down to the ocean floor to do some fishing. My goal was to catch the octopus, and I even popped my seafoam pudding to get to level 14 fishing. But I couldn't even get one on the line. So I guess I'll have to find some solace in making 20,000 G overnight. It's finally day 100. And of course, we have some powder melons to harvest and even more kegs to craft. I checked in on all my coop animals and picked up a rabbit's foot, then went over to the greenhouse to collect and replant some starfruit. I got my newly crafted kegs placed at the keg farm and killed some time before the night market opened by getting some hardwood. The goal for day 2 of the night market was to catch the octopus once again, and I'm happy to report that the mission was a success, and the bane of my fishing list has been acquired. Honestly, there wasn't too much left to do today, so I relaxed, had a beer with my man Shane down at the saloon, and put a cap on the first 100 days in this expanded Stardew Valley by enjoying the crackling warmth of the fire at the community center. Thank you so much for watching my video. I've had so much fun playing Stardew Valley Expanded, and I'm excited to do another 100 days as soon as possible. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, I just want to personally thank you for watching the entire thing. It really means a lot. If you want to see the 200 days video as soon as possible, make sure to subscribe to the channel and enable notifications, as well as smashing that like button if you haven't done so already. Doing all those things lets me know that you really want to see as much Stardew content that I can pump out. If you want to watch me record this series live, you should follow me on Twitter and Twitch by clicking those links in the description. I always post when I go live, and who knows, I might even be playing right now. If you want to get more involved in the community, you should join my personal Discord server linked below. Everyone there loves Stardew probably as much as you, and we'd love to have you over. With all that being said, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.